Welcome to the TMZ podcast and happy Monday. I'm Charlie Neff.
I'm Edward Lewis.
Yes, and Charlie Cotton is out today, but we have Edward here filling in for him. And if you don't know who Edward is, he's one of the top dogs over at TMZ Sports.
One of them. Definitely
So
one of them.
we're glad to have Edward in today. And I also am one of the reporters on the news desk working on breaking news. So we got a lot of topics today. Some of the topics include j.lo and Ben shared a kiss while out in Santa Monica, but it's not what you think. Not on the lips.
Can't wait.
We also are then going to move on to Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark.
Big beef there still.
Yep. And then from there, a lot of artists are stopping their shows if they see somebody in the audience having some kind of medical emergency or needing help. Justin Timberlake and Taylor Swift both called for security to help a fan at a concert at their recent show. So we're going to talk about that. And then lastly, Gypsy Rose filed her first lawsuit, I think, suing a blogger claiming that this woman bamboozled her and released some medical records without Gypsy's permission. So first things first, j.lo and Ben Affleck, as you guys know, they have just been like on the rocks. No one really knows what exactly is going on in their marriage, but we know it's not great right now. They are living separately. Ben's been wearing his ring. He's been not wearing his ring. They've been out together, seemingly chummy. Well, this time they were photographed kissing, but it was like air kisses, like on the side of the cheek. This was in Santa Monica, and unclear exactly what they were going to, but everything seemed kind of cool and cordial. What do you think, Edward? Do you think this is going to fizzle out?
I have super strong sentiments on this because
Do you? Wow.
As a person who's dated over the years,
Okay. Let's dive in.
I received a piece of advice once, and I've never not unheard this, right? And it goes, your first shot is your best shot. So if you're in a relationship and you're dating and it goes sideways, and I'm talking like significantly sideways, whereas you break up, you know.
So are you talking their first shot was the time they got engaged
Correct.
Years ago?
A billion years ago. And whatever your problems were, they're going to be the same problems, whether they're years, decades.
There's like 10 years difference or however long it's been, and they had different marriages, they had kids with other people.
It's just irreparable. You know what I mean? Like if we broke up for a reason, and generally I'm not talking like we moved cities or something like that, or I had a new job or something like that. I'm talking like the real relationship problems that end a marriage or end a relationship that is something significant. It never goes away. You're always going to hold it against your significant other. And I think
so you think if it doesn't work out the first time, never turn back?
Yes.
Edward Lewis, you tell me right now you've never gone back to an ex.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And it's failed miserably every time. The same way this
so you have no control.
No.
Okay.
I'm like such a helpless romantic that I'm always like kind of in this, right? I want to be a part of this. All right, I'll give you another chance. I'll give you a chance. And inevitably, the same problems that cropped up the first time around are the ones that crop up this time around. You know what I mean? It might be obviously a little different in different places of your lives, but you generally don't get along, you don't agree, and it's just not going to work. And again, I'm not talking about the minuscule stuff. I'm talking about the stuff that breaks up a marriage, like or an engagement like they had the first time around. And this is so clear what's happened here. Like you romanticize when you break up with an ex, right? You're like, oh, that was so amazing. Remember this, and this? And you tend to forget that, remember this, and this that ended it? And so I think we're at that point with these
See, I'm on the different spectrum because my husband now, we dated back in high school and we were together for years. We broke up. I moved to LA, which sounds ridiculous because I'm from LA County.
But you broke up to move though, right?
Kinda, yeah. And I was just like, he was young, I was young.
Right.
I was like, catch you later.
Right.
I'm like going to the big city.
It wasn't a significant fight is what I'm trying to talk about, right? Like something that was
yeah, but I mean, we had other lives. He like traveled with other girls. I got engaged to somebody else. That fell apart in a fiery flame.
Right.
And now we're married.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know, whatever issues there were, like that was so long ago. Like I'm not that same person.
I feel like 17-year-old fights can maybe survive that theory. But I'm talking when grown people are in this. I don't see it. And God, we see them out so much. You know, I mean, Ben seems so miserable every time.
Yeah, and this is actually the photos we've seen of him single look like the happiest he's been in a long time, which is like, oh no.
Right.
By the way, j.lo has to be unhappy, or I guess we know she's unhappy because she had to cancel her tour amid all this Ben Affleck separation speculation. And remember, there was like so many reports that it was due, like she was having like poor ticket sales. We were told that that wasn't the reason why she canceled the tour, but there was also no official explanation given, just like, oh, she wants to spend more time with family.
Did you see some of those seats? You know what I mean? Bricks, John Bricks, our video gallery or photo gallery editor,
Yeah.
pulled up one of the seating maps at one of the stadiums, and you know how like when there's seats available, it's like blue. The entirety is blue.
Oh,
Like
no
they're and
way.
like we're talking cheap-ish. You know, like first row seats were less than $1,000. You know,
Yeah.
like if you do a bigger name tour,
Uh,
Morgan Wallen,
yeah,
Taylor
right,
Swift, you
right.
can't get one
A
for
lot of empty seats.
$2,000. Yeah, so
See, it does
I
surprise me because, like, I know j.lo's kinda controversial right now with, the comments she made about, like, Jenny from the Block, the orange drink,
mhm.
like, kind of the way she's, like, treated people in some videos, like, on TikTok, like, at Met Gala. But, I mean, at the end of the day, like, her Super Bowl performance with Shakira, that wasn't that long ago, and that was
Yeah.
insane. So she is an amazing
Yeah, have you ever
performer.
met somebody that's like, I gotta see j.lo in person? Like, I don't mean to shade j.lo, but it's like, right? Like,
Wait, is that what do you mean? Like
who's
a
the
bad thing?
biggest like j.lo music fan, right? Like, oh, I love j.lo. I'm gonna
Oh,
throw on
people
some j.lo
love
right now.
j.lo.
I think people like j.lo for j.lo, not.
Like, for her sex appeal?
Oh yeah, and the movie and the stardom and all
Yeah.
this that encompasses, not necessarily the music. So
By the way, Atlas, her new movie, I
I heard
couldn't
that was
get
terrible, right?
into it,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
All right, moving
Let's
on.
move on to some WNBA, and I'm actually really excited about this because like the WNBA is actually like must see TV now. So I'm sure you're actually
Like,
familiar with this.
celebrities are going now.
It's
I've
crazy.
never heard of that
So you
before.
you remember when they were back in college, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Angel Reese was at LSU. Caitlin Clark was at
Mhm.
Iowa. They had this big beef,
Beef,
right?
yeah.
Massive beef, and it stemmed from like you can't see me gestures and a
Yeah.
rivalry. I mean, every time you're two huge figures competing for championships, there's always some sort of rivalry there. Tom Brady had it with Peyton Manning, this, that, and the other.
Mhm.
Well, after college, these two had claimed to have squashed their beef. Both of them said it was both over. Clearly, it is not. The two, they're now in the WNBA. Angel Reese plays for the Chicago Sky. Caitlin Clark plays for the Indiana Fever. The two teams were competing over the weekend on Saturday, and Angel appears to hate Caitlin Clark.
Wow.
I don't know how to put it any other way. There was a point in the game.
Is there, like, jealousy there, you think?
I do. I believe that's what everybody's problem with Caitlin Clark is she's not Steph Curry, she's not LeBron James, but she's treated that way. And I think
Got
everybody
it.
has big beef with it. So in the middle of the game, at some point, Caitlin Clark is going up for kind of a rebound or an inbounds pass, and one of Angel's teammates cheap shots her, just kind of
Oh,
elbowed her
no.
in the back and shoved her to the ground. And the camera
Wait, is
turns.
that the one where you could read her lips?
She appeared to
And he
drop a little
calls
B
her, like,
word.
yep,
Yeah, yeah,
yep,
yeah.
I did see that.
And the camera appears to catch, or doesn't appear, it catches Angel Reese on the side. I'm like, yeah. Like later in the
But that's
game,
her team.
later in the game, Angel Reese is going kind of for a rebound or boxing out Caitlin and throws her to the ground
Oh,
again.
snap.
So Caitlin ends up winning the game. Angel doesn't talk to media members after the game because obviously, like, this is her rival. It's a bad loss. The Fever are terrible, and they lost.
Yeah.
Or they lost to the. It was not a good game. Angel skips media availability. She's actually fined for it. She got fined $1,000 for it, which is a
Dang.
lot of money in the WNBA.
Why doesn't she just show up and just not, like, say, like, "Oh, no comments"?
Perhaps it's because she didn't. So you'll recall the last time she criticized Caitlin, they went on Twitter. Angel went on Twitter and said some remark that was like, we don't need one person on our team. No person is bigger than our team. And it was wondering, people thought that it might be a shot at Caitlin, but some thought it might be Charles Barkley, whatever. It's very clear that it was a shot at Caitlin now. So
Got it, got it.
so anyway, so
But I will say, like, as somebody that played basketball, I know,
You big baller.
hot take. I was on the basketball team in 7th grade, and I was a center, just like Caitlin. Look, when you're out there, you get people, you talk crap, talk
Right.
shit. Can I say shit?
Okay.
You talk shit to get them, like, out of their head and, like, or in their head, where they're, like, screwing up because you got them, like, all, like, their feathers ruffled. Like, that's what you do out there.
It's just
And also, like, I mean, it worked. Fever lost.
well, the Fever won.
Oh, the
Yeah,
fever won? I
yeah.
thought they're
That's
sucky.
why Angel didn't go to.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense to
So
me.
I don't. The whole thing is the WNBA is must see TV now, and I genuinely mean that. Like we everybody was like, oh, like let's support the league and let's make sure it gets there, and make sure the NBA, and you see a lot of LeBrons and all them coming out to the games, but this is like these superstars in this league now are making this thing must watch, and there's a rivalry now. Now they hate each other, they're punching each other, they're throwing each other on the court, they're cheering when they're fouled.
I love it. I love
WNBA
it.
rocks now.
It's great for women's basketball.
It is. It is.
All right, moving on. So Justin Timberlake and Taylor Swift had separate shows. They're both on tour right now. And both of them had incidents where fans needed help in the audience, and they called them out. So let's listen to Justin Timberlake's first.
Just a bit. House lights up. House lights up. Thank you. Sorry, everybody. 1 second. 1 second. We need some assistance right here about 5 rows back.
It always like amazes me because, when you have lights like that on you, it's kind of hard to see into the crowd, but it just shows how aware and how engaged, he was with his audience, where he can see like somebody really needs help. Like this is what people should be doing. And also Taylor Swift, she's currently in France right now for part of her Eras tour. And she even saw, like, she's way behind a piano, like kind of far, but she could totally see somebody needed help. And she waved the white flag as well.
You need help? Yeah? S'il vous plaît? Aide-les, s'il vous plaît, there. Thank you. Can we get someone to go over the right in the front? There we go.
Honestly, her French is amazing.
I know,
S'il
right?
vous plaît. S'il vous plaît.
When you travel the world that much, you get it.
Yeah.
How much of this is due to the Travis Scott stuff?
Oh,
how much of
probably a
this
lot
is
of
due
it.
to them being like good-hearted people? I'm very curious about that.
I mean, I think it's a combination, right?
Sure.
Both can be true, but I think it is good that people are being more, they're keeping their eyes open as to what's happening in the crowd, because sometimes it gets crazy out there.
Yeah.
I don't know about a Justin Timberlake concert, but I've been to a Taylor Swift concert, and those girls in the crowd, they're nuts.
I will tell you this. I was at Vegas last weekend or a couple weekends ago, and I was
Who you
there.
with?
A couple friends, actually a coworker in here was there too.
Friend?
And,
Okay. Coworker, just friend?
Yeah, we're homies. And we
Okay.
were at Calvin Harris in the middle of the pit. And people are literally laying on me, Charlie. And I don't I mean,
Wait, like crowd surfing laying on you?
like everybody, like just Calvin is up there DJing, and the thing is, God, the room can't be bigger than this, and just laying
no.
like just like I'm
Oh,
like,
ew.
off me. So
Oh, see, I hate that
I-
everyone's all sweaty.
I wish Calvin had been like, hey, can we down there stop laying on him? That would have been nice.
Oh, no.
No, I do appreciate this. I don't know if it takes away from the show. In your opinion, I mean, I know it's always so abrupt. You when you're watching a show, you want it to be like, oh, this is magical, it's magical, and then there's an abrupt like, whoa, cut the lights. You okay over there? But I don't think it takes away from it. I don't see why this has ever been an issue where it's like, hey, calm down. Is everybody cool there? I think it's more
Yeah,
musicians.
but also, like, there's no mosh pit at Taylor Swift, right? There's
Right.
no mosh pit at Justin Timberlake.
But you're kind of moving
Probably
forward
not
to
at
get
Calvin
close.
Harris. Yeah, I mean, I guess there was like a push.
Yeah, there's kind of a like that's what was happening at Calvin. Like people were just kind of getting closer and closer to stage, and you're like just people leaning on you, like.
But I can't imagine, like, I used to go to like Warp Tour back in the day. I know I'm so edgy. And like that would get nuts with like a huge mosh pit, people like punching each other.
Sure,
Like that's
sure.
literally the point of
Right.
like that is to like be aggro and like get it out.
Right.
So it'd be like weird if like a band was on stage and was like, hey, stop punching each other over there. Like
Well,
that
yeah,
wouldn't
I guess
fly
you
at
gotta
like
know
a
your
metal or
audience,
rock
right? Yeah.
concert.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, this is good. A lot of people get dehydrated. I think
Yeah.
it's like the main thing, right? You're like sweating and
Yeah, and I like I said,
suffocating.
I don't see a negative to it, right? Like I know there's a mystique around concerts that
Yeah.
I don't want it to be stopped at any point. I want to be in this magical world, but if,
How was Calvin Harris, by the way?
I had to leave. I couldn't. People wouldn't stop laying on me.
Ew! How did you squeeze out of there?
You same way you got in. You just,
Oh,
back
God.
up.
Wow. All right.
It's miserable. Don't
Want to
don't
see
do
more
that.
pictures? Go to Edward's Instagram
Phone.
of him all sweaty. Okay, and then our almost news.
Okay.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard is suing a blogger claiming that she released medical records. So basically, there's this lady named She goes by Francie. And Gypsy Rose recently filed a lawsuit against her. Her real name is April Jones. And Gypsy says that she presented herself as Francie. And when they linked up back in 2017, she's like alleging fraud, breach of contract. Apparently, Fancy came to Gypsy and had said, like, hey, I want to work with you on some projects. This is during the time when like the act was happening.
Yeah.
Gypsy was behind bars and Francie basically wanted to like do some kind of deals with her. Apparently it fell apart. Gypsy said that's when it all like started going to hell, that Francie became like obsessed with her. And this is all part of the lawsuit. And she said that she provided materials back in the day to Francie, thinking that they were going to work on a deal together, which included medical records and crime scene photos from Dee Dee's murder. And apparently Francie posted these, and now Gypsy Rose is suing.
Why? Forgive me. Who is Francie, and why is Gypsy working with her?
Yeah, well, she was somebody that came to Gypsy back in the day, being like,
Just a
"Hey, I
random
can help
person?
you." Yeah, like wanting to do like press with her,
Okay.
some projects with her. By the way, we even spoke to Francie back in the day when she was representing Gypsy for like the act, like to get her thoughts on like the shows and stuff like that. But they had like, a falling out. Recently, Francie posted about me, called me a TMZ hoe.
Whoa.
Because I hung out with Gypsy at Sir.
Whoa.
Which I find hilarious. I haven't been called a hoe. I'm a hoe. Like, I find everyone always says, like, you're so, like, I don't know, conservative,
why would you
Charlie.
be-
And I'm
wait.
like, I'm a hoe now.
You're a hoe because you went to dinner, or
Yeah, I guess. I guess I was kind of maybe dressed as a hoe, which I haven't dressed as a hoe for years. Like,
Wow.
let me live.
Man, wow, okay, yeah.
But yeah.
She seems so innocent that and trustworthy in people, and I feel badly about this, right? Like it's like you trust people, and assuming the allegations are true,
Right. And like posting somebody's medical records.
right
Ooh.
without her permission, and especially after nasty falling out. I don't know, that poor girl.
Yeah. Well, anyways, there's supposed to be a court hearing today or this week. So we'll see how that unfolds. Also, Edward, my favorite segment
I've been waiting
today in
17 minutes for this.
history. So today is June 3rd,
Okay.
Monday. On this day in 2016, Muhammad Ali died at the age of 74. What was he called? The greatest?
The greatest?
Yeah, the greatest. Wasn't that his thing?
I don't think Muhammad Ali was ever called. I mean, he was
The
like.
greatest? No?
I don't know if he was ever nicknamed.
He wasn't?
Oh, he was the best boxer of all time.
Oh, okay. I mean,
maybe I'd never. Yeah, I don't know.
maybe that's where GOAT came from
Yeah,
him.
yeah. I mean, Floyd Mayweather did that too a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
he's obviously yeah. Anything greatest.
Did you watch boxing growing up?
I did. I was kind of obviously not in Muhammad Ali's era, but
Right,
I was
right.
more Mike Tyson. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
Big
This day in 1937, Prince Edward, Duke of Windsor,
Great name.
married American socialite Wallis Simpson only 6 months after abdicating the British throne. Did you watch The Crown at all?
No.
This was covered in there.
Mm.
So like King, oh my God, is it Richard? Oh my God,
you're
I'm
talking
butchering
wrong
this.
guy
King
here.
George.
Talking to the wrong guy here.
Basically, Prince Edward was supposed to be king, but he linked up with this American, God forbid. She was like a divorcee.
Oh my God.
They
no
didn't
way.
want them to marry.
No way.
And they're like, you either got to pick the throne or pick her. And he's like, I'm picking her. And he stepped away from the throne. I mean, it was a scandal. And then it eventually went to his cousin, I don't know, some relative, brother, I don't know. Anyways, and yeah, later we ended up getting Queen Elizabeth for
Hopefully.
that bloodline, the other bloodline.
Hopefully it wasn't the second time he had back to Ben Affleck, j.lo.
Oh God, Edward, trying to make this full circle. All right, and lastly, birthday today, Anderson Cooper. Happy birthday.
Anderson Cooper.
Edward, I had so much fun with you today.
I had so much fun with you.
But you will be gone tomorrow.
I will be.
Because Cotton will be back. So we're going to kick you to the curb
Great.
like a side chick. All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. And we'll catch you tomorrow.